Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broverwatch podcast. This is the podcast where we casually talk about the Overwatch League. My name, as usual, hasn't changed, is Adam Cook, and with me today, as usual, also is Calder Amos Wood, as you can clearly see.
Are you recording this time?
I am recording this time. LOL!
Good job.
So there's a lot to talk about today. A lot has happened. We're going to get right into the news because, oh, doggy boy, there's a lot. We're going to start with the small stories, get right in, then right into the big one.
I'll hit you with the big daddies.
So let's just go through the small ones real quick.
Okay.
You can start.
So there was a thread on the Overwatch forums about someone posted this grand theory about trickle-down meta. But it was just stupid because 5 posts in Jeff Kaplan, the well-known developer of Overwatch, just posts the top 10 most played heroes of each skill tier. Number 1's almost always Diva.
Yeah.
And then top 5 is usually like Moira Mercy.
It's interesting how Moira is one of the most played already.
Like, she's kind of easy.
She's quite easy, and she's very good.
And overpowered.
Yeah.
You should be able to suck the life out of someone from across
from
the map.
40 miles away.
Yeah.
What I found interesting was, you don't like. I thought that you'd see Hanzo in like the bronze and silver, but he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Genji is for sure. Genji generally stays. He actually moves up.
Yeah. Well, because like the skill.
Yeah.
Cap. It's the same with Zenyatta. He's only in it starting in platinum.
Yeah.
And then as you go farther down, he kind of moves up more and more.
What I also found interesting is Winston only shows up in Master and Grandmaster.
Yeah.
I think it's mainly because like bronze, silver, and gold people. That's me, guys.
And me.
And that's most people, actually. Mostly bronze and silver people are like, I'm not gonna go Winston. He's an easy people go Winston. I'm gonna go Genji. So it's like,
yeah. And then you show that you're really bad.
Anyway, that's enough about that topic. It was just very interesting. I'm sure you can find it.
A couple factoids for you.
Yeah. All right, the next story is London officially signed T1ZI or TZ or T1Z.
Who knows?
We'll find out when Chris Puckett says it.
He's just a main tank. I guess they needed a tank. I didn't really think they needed anyone, but
my guess, he's going to be benched and then go to another team.
That's a good guess.
So we're going to go down here a little bit. I saw a open letter from user. Is this the username?
Yeah, Dick Rigorous.
Dick Rigorous made a post on the competitive Overwatch subreddit. Pretty much talking about, it was an open letter to the Dallas Fuel management, and pretty much the gist of it was pretty much that they don't really take care of their players at all. Like, pretty much all the Dallas players look really depressed and sad all the time. And they take all the heat, when really kind of the role of an owner and a coach is to like not take the heat, but make sure their players are okay, because they're not going to play well if they're like, oh, it was all me. Like Mickey tweeted saying, can you please stop getting mad at the coaches and individual players? If it makes you happy, though, blame me. And it's like, this poor boy. This poor boy. Mickey is too pure for this world.
It's like Jesus. Like Korean Jesus. I don't know where he's from. I shouldn't have said Korean.
So, yeah, it's kind of a bummer because Dallas, they're all sad.
And then people were also complaining about how they're like aware of the subreddit criticism or whatever,
Yeah.
but I'm not. I don't really take that too seriously.
Well, it's just that like people have seen the Dallas Fuel Management and stuff, like their official like Reddit account, like on the subreddit, so they're aware of like people being like, "Why are all of them sad?"
But that doesn't mean like they're looking at it every day and they're like, "Oh, Dick Rigorous on Reddit really knows how to run this team."
Yeah.
It could just be some PR person.
Yeah. I also have some quick, just checked the subreddit news, that Calder doesn't even know about. Whoa.
I don't know most things.
Apparently, Architect, his signing will be tomorrow. Like, it'll be announced tomorrow.
Under the Shock?
I believe so. That's what we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So apparently his signing will be announced tomorrow. That's just a rumor.
Wait, what does he
probably
play? I don't really know much about Architect.
I don't have any more information than you do. Also, just a real quick mention. The Contenders League has started up again.
I watched a couple of those.
So it's kind of fun and exciting. It's exciting for us because Toronto has a team.
Ooh, he's a DPS.
Nice.
Maybe. You have Sinatra, Dante, and Baby Bay. I'm gonna have to do some.
Hey, what is this? The Dallas Fuel? But what was I gonna say about the Contenders League? I forget who it was, but one of the players said that, pretty much in the contract for every Contenders player, it says that they are allowed to be in like free talk with Overwatch League teams about signing them on. So like they're allowed to leave at any time.
So even if they're on like the Shock Academy team?
If they're like on the Shock Academy team. Or I'm not sure about like if you're in the New York Academy team, you can go to like Shanghai, but like I think it might be, but for like Toronto esports, I mean, they can go anywhere. Probably in the contracts of like the academy teams, they can only like go up to the actual team, I'm guessing. Anyway, so that's cool.
One thing I don't like, the Shock's Academy team is called Energy Esports.
Well, no, that's because
Name it something fun like the other academy team.
NRG is who owns.
I know. Ooh, you don't think I know that they're my favorite team in the league? But just name it something like the Shockers or something.
Also, here's a real another news story, real quick, before we get into the big boy news. I need to refresh this page.
Won't ruin me.
Sorry, my computer runs slow when I'm
Do recording. I know what story you're talking about?
No, because I just checked the subreddit. I'm going to try and read the URL for the title. Slasher says Dallas Fuel is exploring
You want me to just try and find it?
Here.
Is it the competitive one?
I got it. I've got it, Calder.
Oh.
Slasher says that Dallas Fuel is exploring options for releasing / selling both Taimu and Coco. So that's two of their original players.
They're going on Korean.
Might be gone. Well, people were joking. It's like they just need like 2 or 3 more players, and maybe they'll be able to communicate because they'll all be Korean. But
I guess they're just trying to clean house. I don't know.
Yeah, Taimu, I wouldn't be surprised because there's been a lot of controversy around him, which we'll kind of get to in a bit. Coco, he just hasn't been playing much. So anyway, so that's interesting. Now to the big boys. We'll start with this first story. We'll go chronologically. So, disciplinary action was taken against Taimu of the Dallas Fuel, Tyrong, the coach of Houston Outlaws, Silkthread, I forget.
He plays on the Valiant.
Yeah, that's right. And xQc. Taimu made an made a
So,
homophobic slur on his
did you
stream.
see the clip?
Yeah.
Real bad.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, I'm being toxic accidentally," and I was like,
It was pretty bad.
he just kind of pulled a PewDiePie.
And
there,
he
you
was
know what I'm
fined
saying?
$1,000. Keep in mind,
Yeah.
that's the same amount as Prophet was fined for going,
For doing, a little bit of that.
except he used a homophobic slur. So,
Yeah.
got my opinions on that. Think it's a little tame. Next,
Yeah.
Tyrong, the coach of the Houston Outlaws, received a formal warning for posting an offensive meme on social media. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. He just posted a Hiroshima meme,
Yeah.
and people were like, "Don't do that," and he was like, "Oh, sorry, oops." And then he donated, I think it was,
It was like $1,000.
yeah, it was like I think it might have been 1,000.
It was just an amount of money.
Yeah, he posted $1,000 or $2,000. He gave it to a Hiroshima relief charity. So they said that him doing that made them be like, okay, he knows that what he did was wrong, and he already kind of paid the technical fine.
Also, the meme wasn't even that funny.
No,
Let's just say that.
it wasn't that funny. It also wasn't it was just
unnecessary.
He just didn't know. Yeah. Silk Thread
Crazy guy.
was fined $1,000 for account sharing. He got fined the same amount for account sharing as Taimu did for saying a homophobic slur.
Yeah.
For those,
a pretty vulgar one at that. Too.
Yeah.
It's not even like xQc's slur thing that he did.
He didn't even do a slur. He was like, he practically said, "Hey, suck a dick." It just, the context of it was like, oh, shoot, he probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
But Taimu's was very much like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Silk Thread, someone else just happened to play on his account. Or he played on someone else's account. I'm not 100% sure. But that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's weird. Okay. This is what bursts my bubble. This gets me more than what we're going to get into after this. I'm more mad about this than the other thing. xQc was suspended for 4 matches. My voice cracked. Suspended for 4 matches and fined $4,000 again for using an emote, the tryhard emote in chat, and for making fun of the casters and fellow players. So this is what happened. The emote is the big one. He used a tryhard emote, which is of a black guy. It's a black guy emote. But he uses it all the time. He says tryhard7 in chat all the time because he says the 7's like a hand. So it's like he's saluting. So he always types tryhard7. And I think it was 183 times he typed it in the Overwatch League chat. And that was proven pretty quickly. So it's like, you really think all of those times were of racial intent? Pretty much he's in trouble because people were mad that people were typing it while Malik was on screen.
Yeah.
But it's like...
And then the disparaging language thing, he tweeted, "This casting gives me cancer."
Yeah. Which
is a little funny.
It's a little funny because it's sometimes bad.
Mm-hmm.
But... And...
It's not worth $4,000 and the end of, the last 2... weeks of stage 2.
Yeah. And
it's not worth that.
I'd be fine with them being like, don't make fun of the casters. That's not good. I'd be fine with that. But the casters make fun of the players all the time. They're always like, friggin', what's Jake doing? You know,
yeah.
They always make fun of the players. So why aren't they being held accountable for the same thing?
It's not I don't know. I don't know. It was just. And then I saw a thread with Monte Cristo and xQc.
Yeah, where Monte Cristo was being
just getting mad.
Monte was being
XQC.
really passive aggressive.
Yeah.
And so was xQc, but I don't know.
Why?
As for the making fun of fellow players, he said that I think it was Envy and someone else. Pretty much he said that some other players played retarded. when talking about their tank play. But he explained this pretty quickly, that like that's just like what you call a certain type of tank play. Because even Reinforce, who is a caster, no, not a caster, he's an analyst, but he's said before, like, there's two types of Reinhardt players. There's cowards and retards. And I am no coward, he said. Just because, like, it's like, oh, you either go in or you don't. That's pretty much it. So that's what xQc was saying, and it was like, don't call your... I think he's more in trouble for that, not because he said that, but because the players themselves didn't like it, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It just seems like a lot.
So this makes me more mad than what we're about to talk about, because every single one of these has a reason for it not to be xQc's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the emote thing, he does it all the time. He didn't mean it in a racist way. Making fun of the casters make fun of him all the time, so much. And then the players thing, it's just a term that a lot of people use. Okay. Then we get this big old boyo bingo brango news.
Last night.
We were going to record last night. Glad we didn't, because this came up.
I was also on a bus.
I was literally on the toilet when I read
this. I was
this.
literally on a bus, dying.
Dallas Fuel announced release of Felix xQc Lengyel. Sorry, xQc pronounced that wrong for sure. I'll just read the first paragraph, or some of it. The Dallas Fuel and tank player Felix xQc, last name, announced that they have mutually agreed to part ways. Last name, I'm just going to call him xQc, gosh dang it. xQc, known as one of the best Winston players in the world, had appeared in 6 Overwatch League matches for the Dallas Fuel this season. His original contract with the team was set to expire at the end of the first season. There are few players out there who have achieved as much of a success story in such a short time as Felix has in competitive Overwatch. Ultimately, it was in the best interest of our organization and Felix to part ways before the expiration of his contract, said Mike Rufael, owner of the Dallas Fuel. No one wants to see Felix succeed more than we do. Doubt that. And we believe that he has a bright future ahead of him. I want to thank him for his time and the passion that he has brought to the Fuel. And then it just kind of talks about his suspension, and it says, our focus is to field a roster with players that are available to help the Dallas Fuel succeed in the future. Pretty much what they're saying is, if he's being suspended so much, taking up a roster spot is not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's why I'm not as mad about this, because
that makes sense.
It is better for both of them.
And they're like paying him. Like, it's not like he's free. He's not just doing this for free.
Yeah.
So they probably need the money too.
Here's the only problem. xQc has said how much he loves pro play.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard for him to get back into the Overwatch League, because
you're going to need a team that thinks they can manage his personality.
That, and even if he gets on another team, that's not going to change the fact that the Overwatch League is going to be on his case all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they might not even let him back because they have to approve him to get on another team.
Yeah, and I don't know why they don't like him so much. Like, do you have any...
They definitely have something against him. Like,
yeah.
he said a gay thing once. Like, he said that really wasn't homophobic, but what he said in the context of it could have, like, was received by most.
He just attacked another player, basically.
Yeah, he said something mean about another player, which he does a lot. Trash talk is a thing in esports. It always has been.
It's a thing in any sport.
Yeah. That one was just tad too far, so it was like, don't do that. And he, like, straight up, he reformed himself. Like, he was a lot better. And then it just so happened that all these different controversies happened, and he was used as an example because he's kind of the face of the league, which is also why I understand they probably don't want him to, like, whatever. He's kind of the face of the league just because he's the most known name because of all these suspensions. So everyone was like, oh, well, everyone's mad about this tryhard emote and the casters and the players. Well, look at what xQc did. And I was like,
He
oh, shoot, he did that. Let's fine him $4,000.
he accidentally used it once,
Well, he used it 183 times.
but like in the wrong.
Yeah, he used it like once
context
at a time when it was not appropriate.
Yeah.
And like apparently he even talked to Malik and was like, "Hey, sorry if like this offended you. I didn't mean to do it at that time." And Malik was like, "Yeah, I don't think you're racist."
Yeah. And then before he could even, the part that got me was I read somewhere that before he could even say anything, like contest this suspension or these punishments at all, they were already just confirmed. Like he didn't have, there was no back and forth with the league. There was nothing.
He said he tried to appeal it, and it was just like, no. And then pretty much he was streaming while this was announced, and he immediately switched his player icon to San Francisco Shock, and people were like, "Is he on Shock?" And he was like, "No, it's just a meme." But then it was like, but maybe he should be on Shock, because like,
I mean, probably
they could use a tank player, and he's friends with a lot of the people on that team. So let's just each give our thoughts on this. Actually, let me pull up Instagram, because we've never mentioned this on the podcast, but if you follow our Instagram at Broverwatch Podcast, we post somewhat often, and almost every...
like 4 times a week.
Yeah, and almost every post will pose a question, and if anyone answers those questions, we will most likely read them on the podcast. So, we posted about this xQc firing... release, the xQc release, and we asked you your thoughts, and ALRCKS, I'm gonna guess it's Alrox, says, honestly, I can't say I'm surprised. xQc is arguably one of the most toxic Overwatch players in the entire league. I'm not really sad to see him go. Maybe he'll bleach his hair again and go sit in the corner and think about how to be a team player. I'm more curious on your opinions on xQc and your reaction to his removal. So what are your thoughts on xQc as a person, just from what you gather?
I think he's like, okay, I'm going to give you a couple examples of people that I would parallel him to. Number 1, Justin Bieber. Young.
Because he's Canadian.
Talented. Yes.
Young, talented, and Canadian, yeah.
But he's in this place where he has a lot of fans, but no one's really telling him what to do with those fans and how to deal with those fans.
Yeah.
So,
and those fans are most of his problem.
Because the fans are worse than him.
Yeah.
It's not like he can control them, but they're worse than him.
Like, when this happened, he legitimately had to go on his stream, and he said, guys, don't go attack anybody. Don't send mean tweets to anybody. Don't send death threats again. And it was like, if he has to say don't send death threats again, I don't think it's him. I think it's, yeah.
So he needs to find a team, if he still wants to play, that'll be able to manage his personality, but still be able to keep his fans happy.
Yeah.
And he also needs to find a team where he actually will be
valued,
appreciated. Yeah.
Because
Dallas literally threw him under the bus.
Yeah. As soon as he was suspended, it was just clips upon clips of every Dallas Fuel member pretty much being like, yeah, pretty much, yeah, he shouldn't be here. And it's like,
he's your teammate.
I'm not saying xQc is Kevin Spacey, but let me just use him as an example.
Okay.
When Kevin Spacey was outed as being a pedophile, disgusting pervert man, pretty much immediately anybody who ever worked with him came out and was like, yeah, I was on set with him and he was just a meanie. He was a bad guy. And it's like, you don't have to say that just to like save face. Like, you're allowed to work with someone who happens to be a bad person. Like, you didn't know.
Yeah. And xQc's not a bad person. Well,
we don't know him.
What these 4 punishments show is other people in the league well, the account sharing one, not really. But other people in the league do bad things too.
Yeah.
It's not like it's only xQc and he's just this huge pit of trouble. He's a black hole for everyone else's morality.
And like people are saying, yeah, but it was like 3 things, and he was a repeat offender. He's already been fined, so that's why it was 4,000. And it's like, yeah, but all 3 of these things were debunked pretty quickly, and who cares if he's a repeat offender?
Make it a case basis.
Yeah, like if so Taimu, first of all, should have had a bigger fine, but he does a homophobic slur. If he doesn't do anything bad for like 2 months, and then there's a video of him sneaking into the LA Gladiators headquarters and farting on all of their pillows or some trash.
Trying to give him pink eye.
Don't be like, he's a repeat offender and he farted on 6 pillows, so that is $8,000.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yes, I mean, that's a breaking and entering, so it's probably a little more than a...
Bad example.
Fine, but...
Just like the Kevin Spacey example. The Kevin Spacey example was alright.
I just think the league as a whole needs more protection for these players in whatever form.
A union. A lot of people have been talking about a players' union.
They don't have enough power yet, so right now they need their teams to stand up for them.
Yeah.
And then eventually they'll need that sort of union association thing.
Because the thing is, there's a post saying like, we need a players union, but then one of the comments was, here's the thing, Overwatch League is a league about Overwatch. Overwatch is owned by Blizzard, as is the Overwatch League. Everything is owned by Blizzard. So having a players union probably wouldn't benefit Blizzard that much. So Blizzard probably is not going to want to have a players union.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't benefit any corporation.
No. But here's the other thing. Other than PR.
Yeah.
Because like, if Blizzard came out and we were like, we acknowledge that, like, we need to be more fair to players, we're going to let there be a players union, or here's a players union, then immediately more respect. And Blizzard's pretty good at giving people what they want instead of looking at the financial standpoint. Because, like, for example, in the game, you used to not be able to buy event skins. It used to be like, you have to get them in a loot box. If they really cared about money more than their consumers' happiness, they would have just kept it that way so that people would buy loot boxes all the time, right? But instead, they made them available to purchase in-game because they wanted people to be happy and be able to get the skins they want. So if they do that same mindset here, they'd let there be a players' union so that there can be some sort of discussion. Because here, it seems pretty much like it was like, hey, xQc, we really don't like you. Get out of here.
And then my second point is of what they need to do for this league is this blurb that we have in the Google Doc, that's all they gave.
Yeah.
There's no other proof. There's no screen caps of how he bullied the casters and players, or screen caps and timestamps on his tryhard7 emojis.
Yeah.
Emotes. It's just...
They need to be more...
When I read this, I was like, oh, what? He actually did this? There's no proof? They're just typing it out so it's real now? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just show me what's... Like, just prove it too.
Yeah. Because right now it's like, xQc's bad. Because here's the thing. If you don't know xQc or the Overwatch League, you read this and you're like, wow, xQc's a bad guy. Immediately his reputation is, like, worse.
And just be transparent, like, why these punishments were worth what they were worth.
Yeah.
Like, why is time getting $1,000, and which is the same punishment as Silk Thread?
Like, the description of Ty Wrongs saying he donated this much to this foundation and made a public apology before being approached by us, and this is why we took that into consideration when delivering his punishment, which was just a formal warning. If you did that for every player or every fine, well, hopefully there's not, like, so many fines and suspensions, but, like, if you did that for everyone, like Taimu said this, and this is why we're finding this much because this is how we feel, like you did with the Tyrong one, I'd feel much better about everything.
Yeah. It's just weird.
So, Al Rocks, opinions on xQc. Seems like an alright guy. Is a very good player. I think Justin Bieber is the best parallel. He's very good at what he does. He has a lot of fans, and he doesn't... He's not great at dealing with how much success he has, but he's very young and very talented. Yeah. He's very good at what he does. He's just not very good at dealing with the pressure. As for his removal, the fine and suspension, not happy with. I think it was just a bad idea. They didn't do enough research, and they're just trying to save face a little bit. But his actual removal, I think, is good. I think it's good that he is not out of the Overwatch League. I think it's good that he's off the fuel. And I hope he jumps in again.
Hope he's on the Shock.
I hope he joins the Shock.
Also, we neglected to mention that they signed OGE or OGE.
Oh, yeah. It's also very convenient that they're signing a main tank player at the same time.
Yeah.
OGE is a main tank player, and he'll be here pretty soon. Very convenient.
Yeah.
Also, another comment, less complex. Axel Eliasson, sorry, on Instagram said, I will miss xQc. And you know what? Me too. I hope he finds a way.
You don't really have to miss him. He streams for 10 hours every day.
But like it's very like I miss Seagull.
It's nice to see them in the league though.
Yeah, I miss Seagull. Well, he also doesn't stream as much, but like I haven't seen Seagull in forever. But friggin'
they need to get him off that team.
Pretty much they need to. Weirdly enough, every team should be 12 players. Dallas needs to be like 7. Because they have so many good players and they play none of them. Anyway.
Yeah, it's weird.
So
let's move on to the games.
If xQc doesn't join Shock or another Overwatch League team, I hope he at least joins a contenders team. Because I just want to see him play in the pro scene because I know he loves it. But he should smarten up a little bit.
Maybe he joins an expansion team.
Yeah. Or I'd honestly be good with him just joining next season when another team joins. Like if Canada
That's what
gets
an
a team.
expansion team is. All right. So for the games this week,
yes,
we had a bunch of weird ones, to say the least.
Yeah, there were a lot of weird games. Oh, I should probably switch to Stage 2, Week 3 discussion.
On Wednesday, 2 big games on Wednesday here. Not this one that I'm going to mention. Seoul Dynasty versus Shanghai, 3-1. It's a little weird that they
got a map.
Shanghai got a map.
They got a map.
We should have like confetti that comes down from the screen every time we get a map. And then after that, you have San Francisco beating Dallas Fuel
3-0.
Yeah, strange. I guess this like a little. I don't know. After what they were going through, is kind of makes sense.
I've seen a lot of Dallas fans saying like every time I think that we've hit rock bottom, it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll get to in a later match.
And then this is a big one. Gladiators 4-0ing the Valiant.
Gladiators, we've been pooping on them a little bit. They're showing some improvements. You know why I think they're doing better? They're trying new things. They're not just doing the exact same thing. Like
Dallas, for example. There was that one game where they tried the same strategy for 7 minutes in a row. And it's just like, what are we doing here?
Gladiators seem very flexible, and Fissure is very good.
Yeah.
And so is Hydration and Surefour.
And where was this? I opened up a link, and then I put it somewhere. Here it is. They're 3rd in the stage playoffs.
Yeah.
Or in the stage standings.
Remember when we said Gladiators are just that team where it's like I forget that they're there.
I mean, they still kind of are for me.
Except not anymore for me. Because, like, I want them to do well now.
I also think that we said that. I hope that we said that before they got Fissure.
I don't think. No, I think we said they're kind of the team that doesn't really do anything, but they're getting Fissure, so maybe things will change. I think we said.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But we weren't like really like we didn't expect this at all.
No, this is
I
unexpected.
expected. Yeah.
On to Thursday. I'll talk about Thursday.
You better.
Thursday, we had Philadelphia versus Seoul. Seoul won, which is interesting just because Philadelphia has been doing a lot well. They 3-1 Philadelphia. I thought it would be a little closer.
Yeah.
Just because Philadelphia has been doing so well. The next match, LA Valiant 4-0'd Houston. It hurts me. They've been on a not good boy streak. I hope they get it figured out. I think they've just been.
This week was even rougher for them.
No.
Yeah, I think it was.
No, because last week didn't. They lost both their games. They won a game this week.
Yeah, but barely.
We'll talk about it. Houston, I think they're just still overconfident, and I think they're getting a little lazy because they're like, "Nah, we win every game," and now they've lost like 6 in a row. So it's
and maybe they're not playing for the stage playoffs, but like,
yeah, which is a bummer because they're all so good. I actually posted something on the competitive Overwatch subreddit saying, who do you think is Houston's best player? Because they're all very good, but they're also not doing very well right now. And pretty much everyone said Muma and Linkser are the top. Most people said Muma because Linkser is nice. Kind of off sometimes. But Muma is like top, best, one of the best tanks in the league. Nice again. Linkser's also very good. And then some people said Cool Matt is also very good. So that was interesting. Boston 4-0 Shanghai. Boston's not been doing very well, which we'll get to in literally the next match, but it's nice to see them win one.
Yeah. So for Friday, we're done with Thursday, right?
Yes.
For Friday, London 4-0's Boston. You hope it's closer, but this stage, Boston's been.
It's just been weird because like Boston and London were like two of the contenders for like first place
Also,
last stage.
You want to hear a fun fact?
Fun fact.
Boston third last this stage, below the Shock and Dallas.
That's weird. I don't know what happened to them.
So that
some people think they might bounce back at the end of the stage like they did in the last one, but we'll see.
This was a tough weekend for Philly. They got 3-1 by New York, the two top teams in the league.
Which, yeah, they just had some tough matches this week, so I don't blame them.
And then this game where you have the audacity to tell me that Houston didn't almost lose.
Here's the thing. I googled. Okay, I didn't watch this match because I was hanging out with some people. I was out.
Ooh.
My cousins. I was hanging out with my cousins and my brother at a video game bar. We were having a blast, my boy. I had
Is it in Guelph?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that.
It was really nice. It was fun.
It's called like Afterlife or something. Right?
Yeah. And I had a Dreamland shake. It was a strawberry milkshake. Oh my goodness, Calder! I want to go back and just order 7 of those. Anyway, my point is, didn't watch this match. Get home and I say, please, Houston. I have no doubt that you won because you have to beat Florida. But please, you better have won. I look, and the first comment I see is, reverse sweep! And I'm like, either way this goes, it's bad. If Florida reverse swept Houston, that means that Houston choked and did bad. If Houston reversed swept Florida, they shouldn't have to reverse sweep Florida.
Now here's the maps. Here's the map details here. 4-3 on Hanimura for Florida. 2-0 Lijiang Tower for Florida.
That's rough.
2-1 Hollywood for Houston.
Yeah.
Pretty close. I guess it depends like where they were on the point, but whatever. 3-2 on Gibraltar for Houston. And then a 2-0 on Ilios.
Okay. first of all, let me get this out of the way. Props to Florida for doing better. I'm proud of you for doing better.
They had a good week this week.
Put that to the side. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a good week for them. Houston, look me in the eyes. I'm going to get... Houston,
Weird.
listen to me, okay? You shouldn't have to reverse sweep them. You should be... Well, okay, props for coming from behind, but you should not have to reverse sweep Florida. You should be able to win. Now get your mind...
That's like... Sorry.
Now get your minds out of the gutter and just focus, okay? Just because you were a top team last stage doesn't mean you can stop working hard. I saw a video, which a lot of the teams have these video series where they're like documentary style videos. They're really good. You should check them out. But I was watching Houston's, and Ty Rong was mad. Like he was like,
I can imagine.
I'm pissed. That was racist. I apologize. But he was pretty much like, I'm gonna get fined $40,000. But he was pretty much like, I'm really pissed because you guys just aren't trying. Anyway,
and here's the thing in the standings. They're 3-3 below the Fusion. They're in like 6th.
Florida?
Houston.
Yeah.
They're below the Fusion, above Dallas.
It's rough. They're gonna start to be better. I think starting this week 4, I think they're gonna be doing better. Because I think them losing
I'll
many
hit you
games.
with a hot take right now.
Okay.
Not gonna make the stage 1 playoffs.
No, I don't. I think it's too late for that.
Yeah.
I really hope that the Gladiators make the stage playoffs and win the whole thing.
I do too.
Because now, no joke, a week ago, didn't care about Gladiators. Now, I really care. I love the Gladiators.
They're like the underdog story.
Yeah. They're like Boston last time, except even more so. Want to do Saturday?
Yeah, here we go. Gladiators.
Oh, wait, I'm supposed to do Saturday.
I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, I swore. I put this podcast as clean. Not clean,
It's
boys.
not clean.
Slightly dirty. Might have to.
The Gladiators 3-1 London. What?
I know.
Some people argued, well, London played their B team. Well, Gladiators still played out of their minds.
Shouldn't do that when the team's basically tied with you.
Yeah.
In the stage standing. So
and Gladiators, I saw. I think the guy's name is James, I believe. But like he's a streamer who pretty much does a bunch of analysis of matches. But he was talking about, he showed a play by Sure4 where he was playing Hanzo and he shot his, which I've restarted this sentence 70 times. But I think this was the match where I was like, wow, I like Gladiators because they're trying new things, because they played a lot of Mei. Sure4 was on Hanzo. It was just cool. But Sure4 shot a sonic arrow to see who was on the left. Then he shot a scatter arrow behind a wall on the right, and he got hit markers. So he's like, oh, shoot, there's some people behind there. He used his ult on the right to get them out of there, and now they knew everyone's on the left. And, like, great play. Do you have to go?
In a little bit.
Okay.
Let's just finish this off.
Okay. Then New York 4-0'd San Francisco. How do you feel about that?
I'd be lying if I didn't say I expected it.
Okay. Well, then Florida 3-2 Dallas. So great for Florida.
Dallas goes 2-0 this week.
Yikes for Dallas. That's a yikes for Dallas for sure.
Yeah, that's a yikerino.
Yeah.
So just to recap, stage 2 standings. You got Seoul 6-0, plus 14 map differential. You got the New York Excelsior 5-1, plus 15 map differential. Gladiators 4-2.
I'm a new fan. Shields up.
Buy every single jersey.
Yeah.
Plus 10 map differential. London Spitfire 4-2, plus 8 map differential. Los Angeles Valiant 4-2, plus 3 map differential. Philadelphia Fusion, 3-3, +1 map differential. The contention for, in my eyes, for stage 2 kind of ends at the Fusion. I'm sorry. But I don't see Houston making a huge run for it. And, like, the Fusion is...
very good.
Yeah. And they're, like... But they are the bottom boundary, like, by far. After the Fusion, you got the fucking Houston Outlaws, -3 map differential. That's a no boyo. No bueno, as they say. Dallas Fuel, 2-4, -4 map differential. San Francisco Shock, 2-4, -5 map differential. Boston Uprising, 2-4, -8 map differential. And I think it'd be hard to find a map where it wasn't a 4-0 for one of the teams playing.
Yeah, Boston's always a 4-0. Yeah.
Weird.
Or 0-4.
Then Florida Mayhem, 1-5, my doggies. -12 map differential, though. Not too good.
No.
Shanghai Dragons, -6. 0-6, -19 map differential. Only won 2 maps the entire stage.
Here is my dream, okay? Let me tell you my dream. I have a dream where Shanghai comes out from the bottom, Gladiators dominate. Okay, Shanghai's not going to do well till stage 3, but here's my stage 3 dream. Shanghai comes from the bottom, kicks bum. Florida starts to do better, kicks bum. Gladiators continue to do as they did this week. And those 3 are in contention for stage 3 playoffs. That would be my dream.
This is not going to happen.
Also, I would say Dallas, I want to do better, but at this point, I'm like, Dallas,
just play for season 2.
Yeah.
How about that?
I want San Francisco to also do well. Okay, I'm gonna admit that.
It seems like they're kind of playing for season 2 though too.
Yeah. Also, Houston, I obviously want to do well, but like my dream is to have 3 people pump up.
Oh, but here's a big one, boy.
Yep.
It's either not next week, week 5. Sinatra is eligible to play.
Nice. And they're getting Architect, probably, and
Super
Super
should be eligible for the start of stage 3.
And
so,
maybe, just maybe, xQc. But that's a dream.
They'd have just too many good players at that point, I think.
They'd be Dallas.
Yeah. And we don't want them to be Dallas.
No one wants to be Dallas.
We want them to be London, I guess.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 5 of nice. This has been episode 5 of the Broverwatch podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As usual, visit our Instagram at Broverwatch podcast. Calder's literally leaving right now.
Yeah.
Visit our Instagram at Broverwatch podcast, and we will be posting things, and you can reply to that to maybe be featured on the podcast. Also, to Broverwatch_BAL on Twitter. Tweet there sometimes. Subscribe, like, comment. Hope you're enjoying these. We're getting a little better. I
think this was a good one.
This one was better. It was almost all about xQc.
Sorry.
But that's literally the biggest story of Overwatch League so far. So thank you guys for watching. I don't have the music up, so this is going to be a silent outro. Bye, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.
Good night, my doggies.